Merry meet. It's Rowan Ravenwolf with Triple Goddess, Apothecary, and Reiki. I'm here today with a book review from Nicolette Miele, her book Runes for the Green Witch. Exciting. I'll let you know what I think of it. Let's dive in. All right. Thanks for joining. So here's the book. I even love the cover. I know we're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but I was very actually even drawn to the cover. So I actually took a class from Nicolette Neal, and I was so intrigued by the class, I had to get the book, and I am so glad that I did. So this is Runes for the Green Witch. Um, Fabulous, fabulous book. So I start quite frequently. I'm going to kind of go to the back because there is an index, which is great because a lot of the book is great for reference. Um, it has a great bibliography, and actually the bibliography hits twofold. It does expand on Elder Futhark runes, but it also expands on using botanicals, plants, and herbs and flowers in your craft. So, like, there's lots of fabulous resources in the back. So I love how much research she did and how knowledgeable Nicolette is. So the beginning, and you can see when I know I'm going to use the book in the future for anything, I will use my little tabbies on it so that I can go very quickly to the section that I need to. I usually write what the section is. I have not done this on this one. So literally each tab is for each rune. So I know that the first tab is Fehu. So I can go through and go, okay, which rune is it that I need? So since I have them memorized by their et, I know which one. So what I loved about this is that the beginning, she really goes into, well, actually, I'm going to, before I even get that far, I want to start with, um, she's got the contents, but it's like right after, yeah, it's right after the contents. So I love her warning here. So it's general safety for wildcraft guidelines. I absolutely love it. She talks about, making sure that you are getting the right plants. And this can be really critical. So, for example, oh, she does put this one as an example. So she's got Queen Anne's lace, and how it looks like poison hemlock. Um, so I like when I was younger, my grandmother loved clean. Sorry, I can't talk. And you know what? I'm not even going to cut that out just so that you know I'm human and I'm not some AI robot. But my grandmother has the greenest thumb, had like the most amazing vegetable garden and herb garden and flower garden you can imagine, and she would gather yarrow and Queen Anne's lace. So I always kind of got the yarrow and the Queen Anne's lace mixed up, even though they're like some yarrow is yellow and some yarrow is white, and they look very, very similar. But when we are talking about like she's talking about the poison hemlock, hemlock is so poisonous. If you like, there's like no cure for it, from my understanding. If somebody has heard otherwise, please let me know. But I've had discussions with like quite a few people, and we've talked about hemlock, how you've got to be really careful. So it is an extremely poisonous plant. So like you don't want to grab hemlock instead of Queen Anne's lace. So she does give you a warning on wildcrafting, and she does give you a warning on essential oils. I appreciate the warning on essential oils so much, and I'm so glad that she gives that warning. I do, I have studied aromatherapy, and you are never, never, never to ingest any essential oils ever, period. And she does talk about that. She talks about how you need to dilute your essential oils, put it in a carrier oil, and she does stress do not ingest it. The only sentence that I was concerned with is that it says check the safety guidelines before guidelines of the oil before use. So I do want to tell, so you do need to check that, because like if you're breastfeeding or a child, you do need to be careful. Like you should never give essential oils to anybody under the age of 7. There's like the only exception is lavender. Lavender is literally the only exception for a child. Um, so you do need to check that. But I do want to stress, and this wasn't there, there are a lot of companies out there that will say, oh, it's okay to ingest the essential oils. I'm not going to say their names. If you would like to private message me, I will tell you the names of those particular companies, but you should never, never, never ingest them. Ingesting an essential oil can actually damage your liver and your kidneys, so it can be very deadly. And so I know people who ingest them and they're like, oh, you're wrong, because this company wouldn't say it without. In the United States, the FDA doesn't really, they're not stopping it. Let's put it that way. And they let people put garbage, they let corporates put garbage in our food, so our food isn't healthy. So why are they going to care if you ingest an essential oil that's not healthy, right? So if you do want to know the companies, just reach out to me. But if any company ever tells you it's okay to ingest an essential oil, just don't do it. It will literally, you'll find out the wrong way as you get older, especially if you have like diabetes, because you're higher risk for kidney issues. If you're ingesting essential oils, even with a carrier oil, if you're ingesting it, it can and will damage your kidneys beyond repair. So just there's the caution. So I'm going to get off my high horse, because I do get on a high horse with that, just because um, it is very dangerous and we do need to be careful. But I do love her warning. It's really great to have that, because I don't see that a lot in a lot of the books where we're talking about herb crafting and we're talking about essential oils. So I was very, very appreciative that she did have that warning in the beginning. I did read the introduction. Introduction is fabulous. I loved it. And she does talk a bit about plant magic. So I kind of wanted to show that, and how to harness the power of plants, which I think is really important when we are connecting with anything that we work with in the craft. We want to connect with our plants. We want to connect with our crystals. We want to build those relationships. And I love that she did touch on that. So it's and it's great. So, and then she jumps into the Elder Futhark runes. So if you have I teach an Elder Futhark rune course. I've taken classes and I've read an abundance of books. She does like a really great summary of the runes. So if you have taken or read anything where you're potentially a rune reader, this stuff's just going to be like that gentle reminder to you. If you have never ever worked with runes, it's a really high overview, but it's a fabulous high overview. And what I loved, and then she jumps in, she breaks everything out by their Ets. So you get 8 runes, and then you go to the second Et, then you go to the third Et. It's fabulous. She's got little quotes. She goes into the rune and then gives you the resources of the correspondences with each rune. She goes into the herbs that she's recommending. So and how they're associated. She gives you the magical working and the medicinal properties. So you can work with them medicinally and magically, which, let's face it, we love that, right? Because I don't know anybody who doesn't. So most of them have at least 5 herbs. So, and I loved it because it just really expands. So I know a couple of people that have read it, they're like, well, this is more of a resource book. And it's like, well, yeah, it is a resource book. However, if you want to learn more about specific herbs, you have to read about it. And most of them, there's just like here on Rose Hips, there's just 2 simple paragraphs. A few of them like have a couple more paragraphs. It's not a heavy read, but this is a fabulous, fabulous read. If you are familiar with Elder Futhark runes, this is going to be great. You'll be able to not just read with your runes, but be able to incorporate them in your magic spells and in your life. And she gives you so many beautiful correspondences. So high recommendation for Nicolette Miele's Runes for the Green Witch, and Herbal Grimoire. So this is it's kind of twofold because you get the rune aspect and you get the herbal grimoire aspect. So that's what makes this book so fabulous. And I absolutely love it. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. And if you ever see Nicolette teaching a class, I have taken a class from her. She was an amazing teacher. And we can always learn and grow as we find new teachers and new ways to learn and expand upon our magic. If you like this video, if you like the book reviews, please give me a thumbs up so I know to keep going with the book reviews. I have hundreds of books, so I can do book reviews till we're blue in the face. And more of the people in the occult community keep coming out with more books. So that's always good. So don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and hit notify. Then you'll be notified every time I post a video on YouTube. And if you're on Patreon, you get this video before YouTube does. So if you are on YouTube and you're like, wait, the Patreon people get this video first? Yeah, head over to Patreon and join my Patreon. That information is in the link. Have a blessed day and namaste.